This is the Fifth Estate, coming to you from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi City. Today we pose the question: what was on trial in the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Was it his actions or his character? Are we trying Rigathi the man or Rigathi the deputy president? And who of the two did the Senate impeach? Did they impeach the man or did they impeach the office? In our view, at the Fort Hall School of Government, this trial is not about Rigathi's actions, whether they are legal or not. It is about his character. And we say so because what the courts cannot do, the Senate is empowered by our Constitution to do. And that is to pass judgment on the character of a leader. If the courts are guided by law, the Senate is guided by norms. It is a normative court. And by norms, we mean the national agreements that define what is good for country, not what is legal. These are the unwritten agreements that the Senate used to judge the character of Rigathi. But why is it important to put Rigathi's character and not his actions on trial? The answer to this is simple. Leadership is not what you do. Leadership is who you are. The job of Parliament was to establish who Gachagua is, not what he did. More so, because a deputy president is also a president in waiting. The question to the Senate was simple. Do we have confidence in the character of Rigathi Gachagua? And both houses of Parliament gave a resounding no. They accused him of stealing from the widow of his dead brother. Orengo went further to accuse him of withdrawing money from the dead brother's accounts on the same day the brother died. In sum, character is what you are in the dark. And put to the test, the verdict was that Gachagua has a hole in his soul. He is not fit to hold office.
At the Fort Hall School of Government, we are not persuaded that Gachagua was sick. And Orengo suggested as much in the Senate. If Gachagua was accused of stealing from a widow by Parliament, what would stop him from faking an illness? This is nothing for a man with a hole in his soul. Or maybe he was doing this to get sympathy from the public. But did the public sympathize with him anyway? Zero. If Uhuru Kenyatta is sick, our hearts are filled with sadness and prayers for his quick recovery. But to hear Gachagua is sick, we feel nothing. And so we ask, why did he fall sick? If this was a political strategy, we must admit that it was brilliant. It gave Gachagua two advantages. One, he was accused and heard. And on this, his lawyers were testing the limits of our Constitution. This is one of the loopholes they will use in court to challenge his impeachment. And maybe the courts will overturn his impeachment and reinstall him as deputy president. At this point, Gachagua will have won, but not so fast. If Gachagua wins in the courts, the next day, Parliament will be convened to impeach him again. And this time Parliament will have known the areas of legal weaknesses pointed by the courts, and they will correct them. In sum, whatever Gachagua does, his goose is cooked. He is boiro. His sickness gave him a second advantage, also alluded by Orengo. If Orengo was allowed to cross-examine him, a lot of dirt from Gachagua would have emerged. His real character would have been displayed in full view of the cameras. And as the Bible says, a righteous man is as bold as a lion, but a wicked man will run when no one is chasing him. If Gachagua ran away from cross-examination, this must be recorded as a brilliant political maneuver. However, the question still begs, what was he running away from?
Leadership is not what you do. Leadership is who you are. What is in question regarding Rigathi Gachagua is not his actions, but his character. We must keep this in mind. Now he has told us that the president wanted to assassinate him, and maybe we should indulge the nation in this possibility. If you were President Ruto and you had a bigoted and uncontrollable deputy, how would you get rid of him? If you were to assassinate him, would you poison his food in a Kisumu hotel? Zero. This is a crude and unreliable method. It is an idea only akin to a former DEO like Gachagua. Why do we say this? Nigerians had a dictator they wanted to get rid of. His name was General Sani Abacha. They could not poison his food because it was crude. Instead, the clever Nigerians got 3 Malaysian girls to give him pleasure. True story. And the state supplied the general with enough Viagra to last the night. On the fateful day, General Sani Abacha was assassinated, not through poison, but through an act of sin and nature. Also clever. His heart burst asunder like a bomb because of Viagra, and he was no more. What is our point here? If Ruto wanted to assassinate Gachagua, there were many options available to him, and poisoning food is a crude method borrowed from the 18th century. But there is another point. Why kill Gachagua if you can impeach him? If getting rid of him was the point, impeachment was the best path. And because Ruto had the numbers, this is the path he took. Because Gachagua is a liar, this claim was nothing but a revelation of what is in his heart. And maybe this is what he planned to do on his boss. And for emphasis, character is what you are in the dark. The more Gachagua talks, the darker his soul becomes.